Rashad, why you didn't
Anyways,
hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
brother, I love you, brother. Trump lit.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey,
Morning,
Rashad.
Joe.
Hold on, let me send this link. I'm about to put the link in. Here you go. All right. Tremaine Wood is currently on execution row, despite his older brother admitting to unaliving Ronnie Whiff in 2002. Next week, he will have a chance to make his case for mercy. Oklahoma's attorney general is fighting to ensure his unaliving anyway. Shouts out to the Huffington Post. Shouts out to my brother, Phil Lewis. All right. Next week, Tremaine Wood will have a chance to make his case for mercy. Oklahoma's attorney general is fighting to ensure his unaliving. This is from Jessica Stroberg. And let's get into it. In McClester, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's top prosecutor wanted to make sure a man who was never proven to have unalived anyone would be unalived himself by the state. And so on a Tuesday afternoon in July, he sent a secret message to the judge asking for some help. "Quote unquote, I have an active investigation issue that I wish to address with you." Ginter Drummond, the state's attorney general, began his email. The recipient was Gary Lumpkin, the top judge in Oklahoma's criminal of court appeals. The subject line misspelled the name of the man on death row, Tremaine Wood. It's crazy because I feel like we dealt with this with what was his name that was looking for clemency in Oklahoma. I remember him because it was like something that Trey Young was talking about. Russell Westbrook was talking about this dude. And I remember it was a few years ago. It's like 2022. Let me see. Oklahoma, black man, innocent. What was his name? Yeah, he was exonerated after 50 years. Glenn Simmons? Was it Glenn Simmons? But I don't know if it was just Glenn Simmons though. Like there was a kid, not a kid, but a dude. We'll just go with Glenn Simmons right now, but I feel like it was another because I remember Glenn Simmons. I think I reported on that, but it was someone else too. Daniel was in the building. Daniel was in.
What's up, man?
Man, I can't call it, man. Just reading the story, bro. You're reading the story, man. It's
Go ahead.
It's about Drummond from Oklahoma. It was a tricky case for Drummond, who had cultivated a reputation as a fair arbiter of capital punishment. The unaliving penalty is supposed to be reserved for the quote-unquote worst of the worst kind of criminals, but Tremaine was never particularly compelling example. In 2002, Tremaine, his older brother, and two women were charged on first-degree unaliving for the unaliving of Ronnie Whiff during a botched robbery. Whiff was unalive from a single stab wound, but under the state's so-called felony murder statute, prosecutors didn't have to prove anyone unalived him in order to secure unaliving convictions, only that they had participated in the robbery that led to his unaliving. Tremaine denied the stabbing, and he was represented by a trial by a lawyer who was struggling with drug addiction, who billed almost no work on the case. And Tremaine was sentenced to being unalived. His older brother, who testified that he unalived with, had robust legal representation and received a life sentence. The outcome of the perverse on his face, the person who admitted to the unaliving received a more lenient sentence than his little brother, who swore off that he never did anything to anybody. Crazy. Even some of the people who helped convict Tremaine came to feel that something had gone wrong. The jury foreperson, the only black member of the jury, has said that she felt pressured into voting for unaliving and would have held for life if she had more information about the case. The state's star witness, who was also the mother of Tremaine's eldest son, told the Huffington Post that she doesn't want to see Tremaine pass away. So did the surviving victim of the robbery, as well as the mother of the man who was unalive. Seemingly, the person most intent on unaliving Tremaine is the state's attorney general. Dang, that's crazy. Drummond had previously asked the Oklahoma court. Oh, you want to say something about that then? Like in the meantime, in the middle of it?
Well, something like that.
Yeah.
This is a sad story, though.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Like the people, the victims of the family, don't want to see him be on his life end to the state's hands. His older brother admitted that he did it, and the guy that there's trying to, he's still saying to this day that he didn't do it. So I don't even know why he's still being sentenced to have his life end this week. It's terrible.
It's a crazy world we live in, man.
Yeah, and this is not even some like Israel, you know what I'm saying? This is not even no foreign countries. This is in America.
Mm.
Drummond
Yeah.
had Drummond had previously asked the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals to set Tremaine's unaliving for September 11th, which would have required the state to hold a clemency hearing ahead of time. At that hearing, Tremaine and his lawyers would have a chance to make the case for mercy. And it's crazy because he probably couldn't even afford adequate legal representation. The lawyer he had, they said, was dealing with drug addiction. So it was like he had a lawyer that was on crack. He fighting for his life. Your lawyer on crack. Like, what are we doing here? So it's crazy. And his brother had adequate representation, and he got a life sentence, so he got to live. It's great. Nasty work. Nasty work. At the hearing, Tremaine and his lawyers would have made the case for mercy and asked the Oklahoma Pardon and Parole Board to recommend that the governor spare his life. Maybe the manifest unfairness of the sentences would capture national sympathies and pressure the state to break back down from the unaliving. So Drummond, who is running to become the state's governor as a tough on crime attorney general, came up with a plan that could sabotage Tremaine's chances of clemency. To pull it off, he wanted to help from Lumpkin, the judge who was overseeing the case. He explained it in an email, which was recently unsealed in a court filing, is what he needed and then signed off. "Quote unquote, thank you in advance for the indulgence in this." So he wants to run on the basis of, I'm a lawyer who's no play, no, all that. That's what he's running on. But like, it's at the expense of this man's life. He was innocent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The attorney general's attempt to enlist help from the judge overseeing Tremaine's case to clear the way of his unaliving is a major blow for the case that is already emblematic of the systemic unfairness in how the criminal justice system determines who deserves to be unalived by the state. As Huffington Post chronicled and detailed in a previous feature, Tremaine's case is marked by allegations that his unaliving sentence was the result of both the severely impaired trial lawyer and prosecutors who played dirty. Despite the common belief that the lengthy appeals process in the capital cases ensures the constitutional violations, as trial will be reflected before the execution date, Tremaine has been denied relief at every turn. In the final days ahead of Tremaine's scheduled execution, including as recently as this week, additional details have emerged in exposing how Oklahoma's prosecutors and judges have coordinated in the ways that have undermined Tremaine's final chances at a meaningful review of the case. German Press Secretary Leslie Berger declined to respond to a list of questions about the handling of Tremaine's case, citing a quote-unquote investigation into Tremaine, although she declined to specify who was conducting the investigation. Asked if Tremaine fit the description of the quote-unquote worst of the worst criminals of the unaliving penalty is supposedly reserved for, Berger wrote, he was found guilty by jury and sentenced to unaliving. She asserted that he had a fair trial. Wow. Lumpkin did not respond to the request for comment. Crazy. As it's saying, Tremaine faces his unaliving on November 13th, on Thursday. He asked the Supreme Court to stay his execution and review his allegations of the prosecutional misconduct. He said he's been locked into solitary confinement since June. Oh my gosh, which is not allowed contact visits. Unless the prison reverses course, he may never hug his loved ones again. Oh my gosh. Tremaine's earliest memories are of his father, a cop, beating his mother. When Tremaine, his two other brothers tried to protect their mom, his dad beat them up too. "Quote unquote, he has beaten me to the point where you couldn't even tell what I looked like. He knocked my teeth out. He broke my nose, broke my bones, and then he wouldn't even help give me medical help." Tremaine's mom, Linda Wood, previously told Huffington Post. Tremaine's father, who passed away in 2012, admitted to the court to whipping his sons, quote unquote, like a normal father would. That ain't no normal father whipping. Pushing Linda one time and handcuffing her to a car another time. But she denied that he was abusive. He denied he was abusive. Tremaine idolized his older brother, Zatavian Jake Wood. Their mother told a social worker in 1994 he would end his life for Jake. Man, that's crazy.
Wow.
I've never seen anyone be loyal to a person. Their eldest brother, Andrew Wood, said in an interview last year, Tremaine will follow Jake to the end of the earth. Tremaine just loved his brother, and Jake loved Tremaine. There was nothing that could break that up. Nothing. Following Jake's lead, Tremaine joined the gang and fell into juvenile detention system as a young teen. And late 2001, Jake returned home after spending years in prison, 7 years in prison. Goodness gracious. By then, Tremaine, 22, had 2 kids and a job at a pizza restaurant in OKC. He was focused on staying out of trouble. On New Year's Eve, Tremaine was at a house party with his cousins, and Jake showed up and told Tremaine to come with him. Eager to spend some time with his brothers after years apart, Tremaine agreed. They went to a brewery with Jake's girlfriend, Lynetta Bateman, and Tremaine's ex-girlfriend, Brandy Warden. There, the women were approached by 2 out-of-towners named Ronnie Wolf and Arnold Kleinasser. They were passing through Oklahoma on their way back to work on a harvest crew. Ronnie suggested the 4 of them go back to a motel room. Brandy and Lanita didn't want to go. They would later say, but they felt pressure from Jake and Tremaine to get money from the unsuspecting men. Oh, so they set them up for a robbery. At the motel room, the group negotiated for a price of $210 in exchange for intercourse. Lanita discreetly gave Jake the motel roomer. Oh, so they robbed him, hoping that she and Brandy could escape without having intimacy and get picked up by the brothers. But before they got that far, 2 masked men in long trench coats and leather gloves knocked on the door. When Ronnie opened the door, the men bust into the room and the girls ran out. A struggle ensued. Arnold managed to escape, but Ronnie was fatally stabbed. Dang. Within days, Tremaine, Jake, Brandy, and Lanita were all arrested and charged with first-degree felony, unaliving, robbery of firearms, and conspiracy to commit robbery with a dangerous weapon. Prosecutors sought lengthy prison sentences for the women and, wow, unaliving sentences for both brothers. The young women faced an impossible decision: help send people they cared for deeply to unaliving road or risk spending the rest of their lives in prison. Lanita, 19. Oh my goodness, they were 19 and 20. Oh, you wouldn't know what to do. You were crappy pants. You want to throw your boyfriend in prison or have his life ended? Man, that's crazy. Wow. She only been dating Jake for 2 months, declined to cooperate with the state, and she was sentenced to life in prison plus 101 years. So she did life in prison for a man she dated for 2 months. Hey, that's loyalty, but that might be stupid loyalty.
I don't know what it is though, but man, that is crazy work.
If you were dating someone for 2 months, Daniel, would you take a life sentence for him?
I don't know, man. I don't know at this point. I don't know, man.
I don't know. At 19, I'm snitching, bro. I'm snitching. I got my whole life ahead of me at 19. I only knew you for 2 months, my whole life. Oh no,
I would say loyal. I would say loyal in a relationship.
No. Hey, I feel it. It's a difficult position to be in. Because I mean, it's your loved one. But 2 months, you just getting to know them, and you're 19. But then again, like if you snitch in this case, they get sent to be their lives ended.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it. I can't have that blood on my hands of like, because you already have the blood on your hands of the case of why you're even in court. So you have that life. You're gonna end 2 lives if you snitch. So yeah, I'm with you. Because even if you're free, raising kids, having a normal life, you're still thinking about in the back of your head the entire time, like, I ended 2 lives.
Wow.
The guilt will eat you up. You wouldn't be able to live a normal life.
Mm-hmm. The guilt will kill you, believe me.
That's what I'm saying. So like you said, you'll be loyal and just not tell, and then just serve a life sentence yourself with a good conscience, a somewhat good conscience. That even though one thing went wrong with the Ronnie guy, the other guy he's still living.
Man. Mm-mm-mm.
Brandy, 22, who had known Tremaine since they were kids, agreed to testify for the state. Oh, so she snitched for a reduced sentence. She had 3 young children. Oh, she already had 3 children. She had three young children, including a son with Tremaine to get home to. She had 3 kids at 20. Goodness gracious. Conflict of interest restrictions prevented the Oklahoma Indigenous the defense system for representing both Wood brothers. So the court assigned Tremaine's case to a private attorney, Johnny Albert. Once respected criminal defense attorney, Albert struggled with drug addiction by the time he took on Tremaine's case. I saw a thing. It was like this lady there was like, yo, you could be highly function crack addict. And she was like, I've done it before. She said she was a dentist. She was like, yeah, I was doing dental work. And I'll be like, hey, can I go to the restroom real quick in between appointments? And she would be doing crack in the closet at the dentist office and then come back out and then continue doing her work. That's insane, bro.
Man, that is. I'm like, what are we doing these days?
Imagine being a brain surgeon and you're like a drug addict. You're like on heroin while you're doing. Man, come on, bro. Like your people's lives are in your hands, and you doing it. Like, come on, bro. But yeah, here it is. Albert struggled with drug addiction at the same time he took on Tremaine's case and would later temporarily lose his law license due to allegations of client neglect. Yeah, because he was on crack. Lamar Odom, who was on crack. He built just 2 hours of work on a case outside of the court and never visited his client in jail. He failed to present evidence that Tremaine was not the unaliver and that his abusive childhood warranted leniency in the sentencing. Watching the trial unfold was torture, Andre said. "Quote unquote, I'm sitting there looking at my mom like, this is my effing lawyer," Andre previously told the Huffington Post. I wanted to get up and say, can I represent my brother? Because this a-hole has no idea what he's doing. You can tell this guy was out of it. I mean, I've seen effed up people. This lawyer was effed up. That's crazy. Oh, that's his brother, Andre? Crazy.
Hmm.
With Albert failing to mount to a meaningful defense for Tremaine, Jake made a highly unusual decision to testify in his brother's trial ahead of his own. He testified that he did it to Ronnie, and Tremaine wasn't with them on the night of the robbery. He didn't want his brother to be his life to end for something he didn't do, he said. Parts of Jake's testimony lacked credibility. Randy had already placed Tremaine at the motel robbery, but there's evidence that Jake was telling that he, not Tremaine, unalived Ronnie. Before Lanita was sentenced, a parole officer prepared a report documenting her recollection of the crime. In the report, she describes hearing Jake that said that he, quote unquote, thought he unalived the guy after they got home from the motel. The result was available at the time of Tremaine's trial, but Albert never presented it to the jurors. Had Albert asked, Lanita would have been willing to testify in support of Tremaine, she wrote in a 2011 declaration. All of this could have been prevented if they weren't trying to pimp out their girlfriends.
Probably. I mean,
you're trying to get a couple easy 100 from your girlfriends, pimp them out real quick, and rob them. And now y'all all in this mess.
Snitching these days.
It's crazy. You should have done that. Don't pimp out your girlfriends, ladies and gentlemen. Just
no.
Your girlfriends. Make money another way. Lanita doesn't regret testifying for the state, even though she may spend the rest of her life in prison. I can be free no matter where my body is. They can't lock my spirit up. Dang. So she said, I'm dedicated to not snitching. I would not help unalive someone. Tremaine's looming execution made her feel, quote unquote, helpless. I'm devastated. My life is ending inside. Trying to save someone you can't but sit and wait and hope that they make the right decisions is painful, Anita said. Although the state didn't have to prove that Tremaine unalived Ronnie in order for jurors to convict, prosecutors portrayed him as a unrepentant unaliver while making the case that he deserved the ultimate punishment. This person stuck a big yank into the chest of a 19-year-old man, stuck it in there 5 inches, and never said to a person, I'm sorry about that. Oklahoma County Assistant District Attorney Fern Smith said, what kind of person is that? Somebody different from you and me. And the fact is the reason that he deserves the unaliving penalty, Smith said. How can you unalive someone intentionally, knowingly unalive another human being, and not be sorry about it? Maybe because he didn't do it. If you apologize, that's like you admitting to doing something that you didn't do. Tremaine was convicted and sentenced to have his life ended. In Jake's trial in the following year, prosecutors flipped the theory of the crime and portrayed Jake as the unaliver. They introduced his testimony from Tremaine's trial and letters allegedly written by Jake to Brandy and Smith, the prosecutor bragging about the unaliving and threatening more violence. Quote unquote, you have evidence from the defendant's mouth that, quote unquote, he did in fact unalive Ronnie Whiff, he said. You have some letters where he himself said that he unalived Ronnie Whiff. Not only did he unalive Ronnie Whiff, he liked it. He enjoyed it. Oh, that's crazy. This is dark. Initially, Jake wanted. Yo, what'd you say, Daniel?
I said this kind of does feel like it's dark.
Yeah, it's pretty. He enjoyed it. There's some Halloween stuff. Initially, Jake wanted to join his brother on the execution road, but his attorneys worked hard to win the trust and convince him to participate in vigorous defense. Jurors found Jake guilty of felony unaliving, but this time they voted him to live. Jake was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Dang, these are the three brothers.
Wow,
Man,
that's awful.
dang. What is this? Apology note to Tremaine written by his attorney. Tremaine, I'm sorry for everything in the past. You got me at a bad time, and it's not your fault. I will do anything to help you. What? It's too late now. I've been sentenced to have my life ended, and you want to apologize and say, hey, man, I was on drugs at the time, bro.
It's too late now. You already did it.
I've already been sentenced to. Oh, this is Lanita. Dang, this the woman that didn't snitch. Dang, she kept it solid.
Wow.
Wait, no. This woman snitched. It says she poses for a portrait at our home in Oklahoma City. So this the woman that snitched. But she had to get back home to the 3 kids. Louise.
Crazy.
Right. I'm skipping the rest. I'm just going to see what else is here. This will not bring him back. It's sad, and it will stay sad. She's the only one they got to go home out of all of this. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Never underestimate my ability to say something stupid to a jury. All right. Dang. It was the first time I felt like I was portraying him. I loved my kids with everything, and I had to choose. Oh, this is his brother with Lanita. Dang. That's a tough position to be in, bro.
Yes, it is.
Y'all gotta watch the decisions you make. And this was when they was 19 and 20. So for the rest of their life, this changed the rest of their life at 19 and 20 years old.
Teenagers do some crazy stuff, man.
And your whole life can change in a snap. Dang. Yeah. This is sad, bro.
Yeah.
Let me see what's at the bottom. Is there anything else? Is that it? Oh, here's some notes. A handwritten petition written by Tremaine Wood, signed by other men on Execution Road, requesting a grief counseling group. Dang. So it's like it's messing up their head that they're on, that their life's about to end.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, like they said, he's been in solitary confinement since July. It's November. Wow. He's been in solitary confinement for like the last 4 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No type of social interaction with anybody else. I think I couldn't do like 7 days in like a room of solitary confinement. I couldn't do 7 days. How long do you think you could do in solitary confinement, Dan? I know that's a crazy question.
Probably like more than a week, maybe.
You could do more than a week?
Maybe he can last that long. I don't know yet.
No internet, no TV, no computer. You could do more than a week in a room by yourself with nothing but meals like pushed into your cell. You could do a week, more than a week.
I mean, you can do it for like months if you can.
Nah, I couldn't, bro. I couldn't. Because I don't know. I feel like I'm too, like I probably have like 8 hours worth. 8 hours worth of screen time a day just from like working and stuff and like doing this. So it's like to go from a life that overstimulating to nothing. Oh, I drive myself crazy. Immediately. Like I'd be able to make it like a day. And then the second day I'll be like, I'll probably spend a whole day just staring at the ceiling going, I'll be doing that for the whole second day. By the end of the week, oh yeah, I'm done. I'm cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do a week. That's it. I could do a week.
Mm.
Dang, he got this the last time he got the Tremaine and his mother. Wait, his mother, Linda. Wait, I thought Linda was his girl. Okay, so I guess this is mom. Oh, is this is not Lanita. This is Linda. Is this Lanita? Hold on, let me see. Let me get these names right. No, that's his mom too. So that's his mom with their son, and then they're holding a picture of their other son. And then who is this? These are all his mom. Oh, so his mom didn't snitch. His mom won't there.
Wow.
So the picture of the lady at her Oklahoma City home is just a mom. I know she felt like she had her hands full.
Yeah.
All right, let me scroll down. Let me scroll down. Dang, so this is the last time he got to hug his mom, bro. At least he got to hug his mom.
Man, that's just so sad, man.
Yeah. And that's it. It makes you feel lonely.
I'd be the same thing too, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy work. All right, next scene.
Rashad, why you didn't hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
Brother, I love you, brother.
Trump lit.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.